So Ken, what is your role in all of this Zapata racing?
Well, I've got two guys I keep going, David Conrad and Carl George. We try to keep two MGAs going. I'm basically the wrench for them when they go to the track. And then when they come back here, we kind of evaluate the cars and see what's wrong and fix it. Most time it's not nearly this serious, but this time we've got a lot of time on the engine. Also the transmission. I'm going to pull the transmission and go through it also. Yeah, this is I'm at the Commodore Yacht Club here in Nashville, and I've been here 34 years. I'm an old British Leyland mechanic back from the 70s, and been working on these things ever since. It seems like can't seem to get away from them. But I work on a lot of imports, not just British, but it seems like I always get kind of stuck with the British before it's over with. You'd be surprised how many are still around on the old cars. This one I'm working on is a 59 MG, and it hasn't been a racer all its life, but it's been a campaign for quite a few years now. All right, I think we're ready. Looks pretty tired, doesn't it, Ben?
Yeah. Now tell me about these engine builders. They just specialize in building race engines?
They specialize in building, believe it or not, even for vintage, I'm sure he does it besides vintage, he does other things, but guy, that's all he does for a living is do this kind of building. And he has a dyno. He can see exactly what kind of problems, if he has any, that come up before we even get it. So that's really nice. The average, what I understand, is about 9 races on the engine before they usually have to have something done to them. So we got 22 races. So we've done a lot of maintenance on it. I have had the head off and redid the valves one time. But besides that, it's just starting to use oil is the reason we're taking it out. And I'm sure the combustion area is pretty worn.
And then while this is out, will you do some things in here? Are you going to replace that throwout bearing or anything like that?
Exactly. I'll redo the clutch probably. We're going to detail the whole inside here. He wants to get that done also. The header system here will go with the car. It has to go with the engine. And everything will be refreshed. I will be pulling the transmission also and replacing it, replacing whatever it needs to be inside. Most times it's just synchro bulk rings on there that gives a problem. So hopefully we'll be ready for spring. Yeah, we were at a flood in 2010. I'm in a flood zone anyway, but usually the floods are no higher than 3 or 4 feet. And this flood decided just happened right when we were at the Road Atlanta at the Midi, and we had to hurry back, and it almost took the whole building. It was amazing how much water, just an incredible amount of rain we had. And still, you can see on the walls over here just the obvious mud, which we never have mud in here usually. Usually just a silt on the floor. But we sure had it on that one. It was just a terrible amount of mud.
How high did the water get? Is there a line anywhere?
There is a line right above the window over there. I would say it'd be about 24 feet, something like that. It was just the peak of the building that was left. And this old building's had a hard life.
They're your customers, and then you go out on race days with them. And do you like doing that? Do you like the race days? Is that something you look forward to?
Yeah, it can be very challenging to try to keep 2 cars going. Some days, like the last race we just got back from, it was very easy. It wasn't anything really hard. We just kept the maintenance up, adjusted valves, checked the plugs, this kind of thing, make sure everything was running right, make sure we weren't getting too hot on the exhaust flow, and you just ran great. But we've had times that, man, we're just taking everything apart, trying to fix something that usually would not give a problem, but being British, it sometimes just will happen. So it's a challenge every time we go out, and it's different every time we go out. Every time we seem like I'm always adding more tools and more parts every time in the truck when we head out. So we have, I guess, 2 months usually between races that we can get things organized, and most time that works out well. Sometimes we have something goes down, like on David's car over here. He's going to go to Kansas and have an engine and probably a transmission put in. So he's going to be down until, we hope, no later than March.
Now talk about vintage racing and what you love about it.
Well, I tell you, you have done it for a long time. My ex-partner used to do it. These are old tracks, old vintage tracks that they've kept going. These are road racing tracks, and these cars were there when they were brand new. You just don't see these cars anymore. People don't even know they exist, or even the races are going on, it seems like, most of the time. So this is it's really beautiful to go out and watch on a vintage track, cars that are going just wide open like they're supposed to in the old days, just all over again. It's just really quite a sight to see. And a lot of these corporate guys are really good drivers, really good out there.
Has there ever been a time when you've needed a part, or somebody's needed a part, and you've taken it off of your car to give to them?
Absolutely. This is what I guess you call gentleman racing. This is everybody's very nice in general. If you need a part, they'll do their best to give a part. Same way here. If we have an extra head gasket, let's say somebody needs one, or just a part, or our car is not going to be running anymore and they need a part off of it, we give it to them. And this is the best way to make friends. We have some of the best friends you could ever have, and it's a small family, and everybody knows everybody's, especially their faces. If we don't know their name, we know their car, and that's kind of funny how that is. But we get to know these guys over and over, years and years. These guys are raced. The guy, this car right here, Carl George, has raced at 30 years right now, and so he's made some vast friends out here. And he has raced not just this car, but another MGA and also a TD. So he's had a real good time with him. Good driver.
Nice.
So you got two vehicles going right now. We got 30. That's great. All right. Well,
What are you doing?